What's up, Dice Crew? We got Black Sam speaking, and if you're not familiar with who Black Sam is, that is the older brother to Nipsey Hussle. RP to him, shout out to him, shout out to everybody, the family, and everyone who care about him. But we got Black Sam speaking on not wanting Nipsey to participate in being from the rolling 60s and not being a part of the gang culture in general. But that's just me giving y'all a small introduction. Let's tune in to see what all Black Sam got to say. I'm going to keep it a Benji for y'all doing a reaction. Y'all keep it a Benji for me in the comments. Let's rock.
Hey man, at certain points, did it feel like Baby Bro was leading Big Bro?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, man. 100%. And, you know, even since we was young, we always knew he was, like, special. And, you know, it was always for the older brother, you know, it's an honor that my little brother is doing, you know, things that I can be proud of.
Right.
And just, you know, never fail, man, since we was little. Just
So you
always.
saw how special your bro, how special Nip was before the world knew how special he was.
100%. I think anybody at this time, a lot of people ask me this question, like, man, when did he? And I be telling them it wasn't no when, it was always. Anybody that was around him from young, he was certified gifted as a little kid. Anybody that was around him, his charisma, he always stood out. People always were like, no, this guy is special. From a little kid to junior high to high school to, you know, in the neighborhood.
You know, one thing that's crazy to me, or not like crazy, but what catch my attention that I really like give flowers to is how Black Sam was able to identify with that with his little brother, his younger brother, and, you know, not have no type of animosity or no hate or just no ill feelings towards it, or even try to act like it didn't exist. You know, I feel like that played a big part on why they was able to succeed. You know, if y'all familiar with Nipsey and his music, y'all done heard Nipsey shout out Black Sam many times. And I just feel like when you come from these, you know, these unfortunate environments, you know, a lot of people be having a mentality to where they don't really want to like see other people shine, or they have like a competitive spirit against the wrong individuals. You know, it might be everybody close to them or whatever the case may be. So instead of people being able to form some type of team, people always got to fend for themselves. And I think that's some of the reasons why certain people don't even reach no level of success or just hit a roadblock soon because they can't really have a good team. But I always admire that type of situation with like Black Sam, Nipsey, and just everybody that's close to them that just, you know, push that teamwork. But let's continue.
The homies as a little kid. Anybody that was around him, his charisma, he always stood out. People always were like, no, this guy is special. From a little kid to junior high to high school to, you know, in the neighborhood, the homies.
Yeah.
Everybody like, no, this dude is special. Everybody, you know, Nip led. You know what I'm saying? That people followed and respected and looked up to. Older, young, it didn't matter. They knew.
Who tapped into the neighborhood first?
Hustle.
Oh, really?
For sure, Hustle. You know, I'm young, and I'm going to school in Watts before him. So as far as like knowing about hoods and gang LA culture, I was exposed to that first, going to Watts and going to school at Markham, outside of our neighborhood and what we saw. But once, you know, obviously Nip get older, Nip in our neighborhood, which I never wanted him to be a part of.
Right.
You know, honestly, you know, anybody, and I say this, anybody that grow up and understand, you don't want your little bro being a part of, you know, some shit that you know is destructive. My goal.
And, you know, I understand where Black Sam is coming from, you know? And one thing about that, like, you know, this not my first time hearing this, like Black Sam not want Nipsey to participate with the gang culture. And it kind of always kind of make me feel just weird feeling on how Black Sam had to lose his brother due to the gang culture, you know, an in-house situation that his brother really loved and it was passionate about. And he really just, you know, it was something that he kept in the forefront, I should say, however you word it, like something that was very dear to him, you know, but it's something that Black Sam always felt like it's just not a good choice. So for something that, Black Sam to warn him about and it end up going kind of bad or, all the way bad, I just always get a weird feeling about that on behalf, like for Black Sam, like I know that has to bother him a lot. Or maybe, he could be at peace with it because at least, he kept it a Benji with his brother and always, spoke in a real way to him about how much he wasn't in support of that. But I just always trip off of that, And, when you are aware, are you a fast learner, are you sharp, you pretty much like, you have a different perspective on gangbanger. Sometimes people feel like that's just what they need, or that's, like I always say with the gang culture, man, if you feel like it's for you and that's what you really need, or if you could benefit, then hey, that's for you. If it's not, then I understand it totally, and it's not for you, and you making the right choice. But whatever is best for you, I just get it. And some people, they don't even understand what's good for them or not because, they be young or they just don't know no better. But I also applaud that Black Sam knew that at a young age, back then, that might not be one of the best choices on the playing field. So, I admire that. But let's continue.
Him to be a part of.
Right.
Honestly, anybody, and I say this, anybody that grow up and understand, you don't want your little bro being a part of, some shit that is destructive. My goal was always, we got to get this bread and we got to get the money and we got to, we need to make sure that we own. So, seeing hustle and me not being able to do anything about it either.
Right.
It's like, man, only thing I could do at a point, it came to a point where hustle was so deep in and so involved and so much going on around him in the neighborhood with the politics in the neighborhood. It's like, all right, now, I gotta be there with bro, and I gotta be, and people need to understand, like, yeah, this is his bro, and his bro is here, and if nobody else is tripping, I'm tripping.
And I get that too. I also give him his flowers for that because he felt out like, and that's something that you have to do in life sometimes. Like when you can't get a person to do the right thing, sometimes you gotta kind of like hold their hand or guide them or assist them in your best way for them doing something that you feel like might be the wrong choice. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like when you understand a person gonna just take that leap into the streets, you gotta kind of like you gotta give them that guidance that you need, and that's some good support. He pretty much showed up and let everybody know, like, ain't no easy situations going on with my brother. He not just alone out here. Always when you think about him, think about me. If ain't like he said, if ain't nobody else got a problem with something, I got a problem, and I understand that. And I just really admire on how much, he really cherished his little brother, his brother, his family, however. But I just really admire his get down with that situation.
And Nip had a certain unit, and that was our unit. But yeah, definitely hustle.
Were you always concerned when you start seeing him going down a certain path? Because you already know, man, like, dude, he's studious, he reading books, he building computers, You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then there's always a time where we got some of this and some of that, and he had this and he had that. Were you concerned when you saw Nip kind of getting in a lot more?
Yeah, 100%.
What would you tell him? Would you tell him, like, man, you got this music, or he just wasn't listening?
I think at that point, we was all trying to get money. Hustle was getting to the money, but at the same time, he was associating and hanging out, and I'm like full time, get the money. Hustle was half and half, and the other half could get you going for a long time. So that was the dynamic at that time. Once it transitioned into full time hustle trying to do the music, that's where I felt like, okay, this is the opportunity, and honestly this is what now, okay, whatever I can add to this, whatever I can help with in any way, I wanna be there and support, because this is the direction that I know. Number one, bro is super talented. Mm-hmm. Like I tell him, like, man, if you wasn't talented, bro, I'd have told you, like, come on, man, let's do something else. This ain't gonna work. But I full-heartedly believe, and I know that this is his calling, and this is something that's channeling his energy in the correct way.
Could you believe how talented he was early on? Like when you say he wrote a rap, you're like, dude, you wrote that?
Yep.
Like, did he always amaze you?
Yep, always amazed me, and everything. That's what I tell everybody, man. Everything I ever heard from him, everything was special, and I was surprised. So, me, Fats, my cousin Adam, everybody, our inner core team was like fully behind Hustle.
Did you feel like you had to put a circle around him too?
Yeah, 100%. He had a tight crew, and then so I wanted to make sure that I came with and helped build the circle and just make sure that, we from this area, but it's crews within the area. And,
right.
What I'm saying? Niggas need to understand that our crew and Hustle crew is...
I mean, Black Sam is definitely kicking some real street game. If you understand that, if you're around and you about it, like, if you come from the culture, you understand exactly what Black Sam's saying, you know what I mean? And I get that. And, people don't understand that like, those crews, those cliques, those circles, those are so much more important to have, just because, that's how you got the mandatories. You got the mandatories when you got the circles, when you got the crews, when you got the cliques, you got people that's on mandatory. If this happened, they gonna mandatory call, mandatory answer, mandatory however it go. When you got the broad scheme of things, I don't know if I'm using that in the right sentence, but when you got the whole mass, it's rare. Everybody might not feel no obligation. Everybody might not have a chance to really bond or have that relationship, But when you got that circle and that crew, you also got a lot more loyalty that you can deal with, I ain't saying that, people do all kind of backstabbing and stuff from within. But when you got those crews and those circles, you got a little bit more to understand like what you working with. You could depend on this, it's just so much stuff. But I get that, and I just feel like Black Sam is like a sharp guy. You know what I'm saying? And this is cool right here that we get a chance to tune in and hear what Black Sam got to say, because it ain't like he always speaking. He not really out there in the social media world. But let's continue.
One of them crews, So that was the goal, and that was the people that you see today. That's all money in. That was the crew. That was the crew before anything that people understood and knew. Like, all right, this is Hustle crew, and it's gonna be consequences behind it.
And this is like, we make it or we don't. This isn't a group of people that somebody got on and you just started adding to it.
100%. This is the crew. When them hood politics start coming, and when motherfuckers start being like, you on your own, this crew is not with that.
Right.
This crew is like there.
Did you feel like you had to go a little harder in because you had to make sure that nobody did fuck with y'all? Like, it had to turn you into a little bit more of, like, man, you can't fuck with this.
I think Hustle led by example, and Hustle was known for that. And both the Fats and Kabi and everybody that Stone, Hustle main crew, Augie, that's what the crew was known for off the top. So I think, to answer your question, yes. If that's just anybody in any crew.
Right.
So either you're gonna be respected or you're not gonna be respected.
Yeah.
So, we was on Crenshaw and Slauson.
Yeah, man.
We had the shops. We lost them. We had spots all up and down Slauson. Weed spots. We had a lot going on, and yes, it had to be known, and it was known. Like, we ain't them. We not the guys that the older dudes is coming through trying to extort. It's not happening.
Right.
We not the guys that's going for anything. Too many times that I can't even speak about. Somebody came, said one disrespectful thing. Hustle take the chain off, take his chains off, squabble him.
Yeah, man.
So people knew don't say nothing to Hustle, and that's if Hustle was around all his crew or was solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, intense on everything. Intense on the music, intense on the hustle, intense on the street, yeah. So
100%. That was Hustle.
Yeah.
That was Hustle, man. That's why he was respected. That's why the young kids in the neighborhood love bro. You know, they seen him pull up solo. Man, that's why he was respected. That's why the young kids in the neighborhood love bro. You know, they seen him pull up solo, you know, in the bulletproof, hop out all the jewelry, you know, on Victoria, on Bryanhurst. And, you know, certain people say the wrong thing, hustle in the middle of the street, squabbing. You know, mandatory respect. And at the same time, leading by example.
I like what Black Sam just said right there, like mandatory respect. Like I rock with that 100% because that's how I live. You know, it's mandatory respect. Like disrespect is not to be tolerated. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that.
And providing inspiration. You know, people seeing Hustle do it. They know Hustle was there with them. They know Hustle sold dope with them, and they see Hustle. And then when he talk, they listen, and he giving you game. He like, look, this is what you need to do. You know, so many people from the neighborhood was inspired first, you know, hands-on, and also from other neighborhoods, you know, from so-called neighborhoods that was enemies. You know, they to this day, man, people be, you know, seeing me, or even they would see bro and just be like, man, you know, I'm from Wooty Woo, but man, like we got our shop and we started our record label, and, you know, so I think in LA and gang culture, Hustle just inspired everybody, and
definitely, you know, laid like a blueprint, spearheaded, you know, that whole type of just that vibe, that, you know, that independent grind, that want more, that hustle spirit, just like what he was inspiring and influencing everybody, man. I think just all around the board. That's why I feel like Nipsey is so big, just based upon his influence and his inspiration, like how he made people want to just hustle and motivate, you know. Want to, you know how to stick through hard times. Like, you know, he was definitely, you know, he's a blueprint, man. I think y'all get where I'm coming from.
And led by example, and that's why, you know, the whole city saluted what he was doing.
Sam, talk to me about like the days of when y'all did start the T-shirts and things, and, you know, opening up stores, always being entrepreneurs as well. You know, it's probably thinking about things we weren't even thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like opening up stores. Like, when did that start for you guys? When y'all started thinking, like, man, we wear T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to sell them.
I think we was trying to get money, and you know, it was a lot going on, multiple arrests for myself, and I think me and Fats, man, we was selling T-shirts, and then we had the weed on the low. But the main reason for us being in the parking lot was like we're selling shirts, we're selling T-shirts, boxers. So it kind of started off kind of as a front, honestly.
Right.
And then we would have the movies, we would have the weed, but when the police pull up, we like, man, it was T-shirts. And we start seeing the demand
for it. Were y'all on the streets, or y'all had brick and mortar at that time?
No, we was on the streets at this time.
Gotcha.
And we was in front of Louisiana Fried Chicken.
You know it well.
Check cashing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All the homies used to stay there and sell dope at the check cashing. When everybody get their cash, they check
first
cash.
person you see.
And so now we there too. And so, you know, we would get people cashing checks. They would come spend with us. T-shirts, the homies would buy shirts, and we start noticing that we short stopping the swap meet. Slauson swap meet.
Yeah.
We short stopping them. Now everybody coming buying their T-shirts from us. And it started turning into something. And we start selling out every day.
And y'all just had tables out there?
Yep, had a table, trunk, and then we'd go from the trunk back and forth, and turn that spot into a money spot also. And then police start coming and start seizing our stuff.
Is this after your DVDs?
Yeah, this after that. So,
gotcha.
You know, I couldn't go to that spot no more because it was done. And so now I'm like, we need to find another spot. We got blessed and found this spot, and it turned into something again. And obviously, same program. We there every day. I'm going, you know, Hustle, making his rounds, pulling up on us, chilling with us for a minute, going back, doing what he needed to do. He had spots, other spots everywhere. He was doing his music. And Fats, I used to pull up, knock on Fats' door. Hey, bro, come on. Get him at 6 in the morning, and we'll just be there, bleeding it till like 12, midnight, 7 days a week. And, you know, we would have never stopped. Police came, kept coming. Finally, they came, and they start seizing our clothes, taking everything. And I'm talking about back to back, we'll go spend $1,500 on just gang of shirts. They'll come take it the next day. Take the next day. So we just getting defeated. Like, damn, we know we can't keep spending this shit. And they taking it. Talking about they giving us a ticket. And think it was in a documentary, man, but I remember the one police officer, you know, we like, bro, it's a black officer. He'd be like, man, why you keep taking our shit, man? We selling shirts. He like, man, shut the fuck up. Y'all niggas want to sell T-shirts, you know, go rent a building and pay lease like the rest of the tax-paying citizens. So I'm like, man, fuck you, man. So he ended up leaving. And so we sit on the curb, I'm mad, feeling defeated, and I just look up. And I'm looking across the street at the plaza, 3420, and I see a big-ass for lease sign. And so I was like, oh, that's God. You know what I'm saying? That's God. I called the number, and we ended up getting that lease. And that was the first brick-and-mortar store we had called Slauson.
And literally sitting there and looked over, and there it was.
Yep. And I was like, oh, that's a sign. So we got it.
And you know, it's crazy how something that's like you might find unpleasant can drive you into something that's very much more better than where you at right now. It's definitely capitalizing on, you know, a bad situation, turning a negative into a positive.
And same thing. We up early. We got the tables. We started off with one table in there with like a box of socks, because we spent everything trying to get the place. And then things start rolling again. And now we making money back, hands over fist. You know, the journey, it was always ups and downs. We up for a minute and then we down. We up for a minute, we down. But the key was just stay at it. And Slauson turned into something just like crazy. We across the street, we had the homies across the street with the tables, had the check cashing. We had them pointing to sending everybody traffic to us. And it was just ping pong. We running across the street. And, you know, we had the movies, we had the weed, we had everything booming. People coming from every different neighborhood. All they girls coming to Crenshaw and Slauson, pulling in the lot. Slauson turned into something that was just like big, and it was bigger. And then Nip is doing music, and, you know, anytime Nip will pull up, it's like Michael Jackson pulled up in the hood.
Gotcha.
Nip pull up, everybody pulling up. And this is before any deal, anything. We'll be like, bro, you gotta stop pulling up and hanging out in the front, man. You know, you got 100 Crips in the front. Customers driving by scared to pull up. This is at that time.
So when you see that you guys are brick and mortar, things start going, that had to give you that bug of like, man, this is something that we can continue to do.
Yeah.
What did you learn early on when you go brick and mortar?
You know, we was no rules at that point.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, we was hungry, we was thirsty, we was doing everything. We had fake Louis bags, we had fake Lacoste shirts, we had the fake Nikes. Remember when the Jordans, everybody had, we had everything in there, and you know, we was thinking it was never gonna end. We was like, oh, this is crazy. We the store ended up making damn near like $4,000-5,000 a day, just because we had
right.
the Jordans, we had it was just, you know, and then we get hit hard too at this
right.
point. Detectives.
Oh, shit.
Motion Picture Association come back on me right there. 77 precinct. So they hit the shop. You know, it was multiple, you know.
You just saw different jackets.
Yeah.
Reading it like, oh.
Yeah, I got stuck. That's what stuck me. That when they raided that got me stuck. I ended up, I was already out on joint suspension, had like 5 or 6 felony arrests that I was fighting, and then this one they came in, probation department came with them. They raided like it was 40 different police officers, and they got me. And so I ended up going, and I didn't get out. I was in for like 22 months. And when I get out, the shop is gone. We lost the shop.
So it's almost 2 years later.
2 years later. But Hustle got signed, and Hustle was in New York, and Hustle is in the magazines. And so my whole time in, I'm getting, you know, I'm feeling like, all right, I'm not even tripping. It's meant to be. I was out for as much as I was needed to try to help as much as I could, and then now bro got it from here, and transition has happened. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
you were getting word that Nip was moving.
Yeah, he's sending me. You know, I'm on the phone with them every day. I'm hearing about it. He's sending me magazine articles. You know, I'm listening to the radio. You know, I see the music video, the first music video, Hustle in the House. So definitely, man, I'm in there just like, you know, pumped and happy. Like, this little time ain't shit.
Do you know you coming home to it, or did you think it moved past you?
I know I'm coming home to it.
Yeah.
I'm coming home to it, you know, and I wasn't doing a lot of time, so you know, I think hustle was his key was like, you gonna come home to something legit. So, you know, that was a blessing, and that's what I came home to. I came home to something legit that was like out of control. This is the time when Bullets Ain't Got No Names Volume 2 was out. So Nip was the hottest thing in the streets. Nip, New York, buzz was going crazy, and you know, head on. My goal was, you know, obviously I can't be, you know, there with a handout. Or trying to like you know, take. So my goal was like, how do I, you know, do what I'm known to do, and that's try to add value to whatever is going on. So that was the mind state, and my goal was I need to get the shop back, and you know we went through a couple of hurdles trying to get the shop back.
The same shop.
The same shop. You know, couple different little hurdles, but we ended up getting the shop next to it. Bigger, and we turned that into Slauson Ave clothing, and from there, you know, Nip, the Hustle in the House video, the Crenshaw crew neck, everybody was hitting the MySpace and hitting the articles, I mean the social medias, and Adam and Nip was, I think Adam actually was like, man, everybody keep asking for this Crenshaw crew neck, so I'm like, huh? I'm like, hold on, what you talking about? He like, yeah, the sweater Nip had on in the Hustle in the House video. Everybody on here, that's what they, man, where can I buy one? Where can I buy one? So I'm like, all right, that's it right there. That's all I need to hear. That's God. Once again, like, okay. So me and Fats, we about to make these. So we went, we reproduced the custom Crenshaw crew neck and the hoodies. And we back across the street at the table. You know, and from there we were able to get the unit and turn that into Slauson Ave. You know what I mean? And then it's the same thing, ping pong. And that shit turned into something bigger than the first one. And but the only difference is now, instead of selling fake shit, we selling our own shit. And you know, we creating a brand, and Hustle, you know, is putting it on his back. Every video, people come through, he's branding it, he's getting people to come and support, and you know, he made that sweater even more iconic. And when you see a Crenshaw crew neck or a hoodie or a shirt, you think of Hustle.
Yeah, man.
And so, you know, from there, Hustle goal was like, we got to create a clothing brand. And, you know, what was birthed was the Marathon clothing. You know, after his mixtape, The Marathon Continues, the TMC. I was like, TMC, Marathon Continues, man. Hold on, Marathon Clothing. So we all go high-fiving because we don't know what to call it. And that was it. And one of the things was, you know, while the sweater and the crew necks was getting famous, everybody started bootlegging our shit. Oh. And so we like, man, how do we stamp like that it's official? You know what I'm saying? How
you were the guy at first, huh? Now you all tripping.
Right. You know. I said we gotta respect the game. You know, they bootlegging our shit,
but not too much.
Right. How do we stamp it? Hustle like, nah, we going if the tag ain't Marathon, Crenshaw crew neck is a knockoff, and that was genius. And so now people like, yeah, that's if it ain't got the Marathon on it, it ain't the real day. Yep. And you know, and it was off to the races, man. And you know, just direction from Hustle. You know, always. I remember he had some people come through with cameras in the shop. And you know me, I'm in the shop. Man, who was all these people, all these white dudes with cameras, man? What's he like? Nah, they cool, bro. So I'm looking, they taking pictures. They end up being the hundreds. If I talked to Bobby 100, he like, I'm doing a blog. I want to come to the area. I want to drive around with you. I want to come to your shop. And so, you know, initially I'm like, man, we don't need all these dudes in here taking pictures, man. The next day, we had surfers, we had white dudes coming through. We seen so much traffic. Everybody was coming to the shop trying to get a Crenshaw hoodie or Crenshaw crew neck. And so I was just like, man, Hustle. I'm telling him, he's like, I told you, bro. He knew it. And it just turned into, you know, it just kept going to something big. And Hustle was like, yeah, we need a branded store. We need a store called the Marathon Store. And it needs to be like, you know, our version of the Sanrio. We need to create products. The Marathon Store needs to create, you know, Marathon clothing products, the Marathon branded products. You know, he was talking, I want a branded money machine. He was just, you know, giving us the ideas, and we taking notes like, all right. And so, You know, I want to have a marathon water. I want to have he's just telling us like, you know, and we start seeing the vision like, okay, all right, this is something big. And, you know, little by little, you know, we was just stacking the money, hustle, stacking the bread and contributing like, bro, put this towards this, put this toward this. And, you know, the people supported. And, you know, the brand was built by the people, man. Just the area, anybody would come from out of town, they would always want to come and support. And that's how we were able to open that the Marathon store, the official.
Do you know what's crazy about even just Marathon and Crenshaw? Like, Crenshaw was already famous. People knew Crenshaw, you know, movies and all the wall. But y'all made Crenshaw worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, because I know that you've seen people that look like they wouldn't even know about Crenshaw. Sam, we're taking a brand now, and that you see is worldwide. You got an amazing crew. You know, you can't even say staff. You know what I'm saying? You got you have an amazing crew at that time, bro. Did you ever feel like man, this is really happening? Not were you surprised by how big things were becoming, but did you always envision that either your little bro was going to be this guy, or did you always envision that there was something bigger for you guys together, or you couldn't see what this either was becoming or what it is now?
I think definitely never, me personally, I never envisioned that, you know, it was going to become, you know, where Hustle took it, I had no clue. But I always felt like we was gonna be good because we was hustling, and we was gonna, regardless, we were gonna have. That was for me. That was the thing. Like, we want to make sure we have. We want to make sure the family got it. Like, Granny getting a new Jaguar, Mom's got to get a Benz, Pops got to get a BMW, you know, and get some jewelry. And
y'all were able to do those things.
Yeah, that was the. For us, young, growing up, that was like you made it.
Yeah.
So, now when you in that, reality hits. Like, okay, hold on, how this can't last. How do I legitimize, or what is the next level? Because it's nothing, you know, it's the foundation of what we doing. It doesn't last when you're doing anything illegal or you're on the street. So with that, I think Hustle had the vision, and Hustle was like, nah, this is what we're gonna do. And every time Hustle would lead the way, and I remember Hustle telling like, this clothing is gonna be big. It's gonna be one of the biggest things we do watch. And you know, just Hustle, just having the script, like, man, we're gonna stay independent with the music. You know, we gonna have a label, and you know, I'm gonna always have my masters. And just, you know, Hustle, you know.
How do you know that so early on, man? Especially in a time where everybody's like, man, I got to be on Def Jam. I got to be on this. I got to be on that. Whatever the label is.
Right.
How did you guys had a wherewithal to like, no, we gotta own the masters. We hear a lot of that now.
Right.
And at some point, man, you just want to get in so bad that you'll take anything.
Yeah.
You know, what made him or you guys decide like, no, we got to do it our way?
I think that was Hustle, man. You know, that was Hustle. He educated himself always, and I think he read a lot of books. And you know, I remember him telling me like, look, this is what, and also him trying to involve us and others. I think his what's the word I'm looking for, man? The way he wanted to build something that other people could be involved in. So if he was thinking solely for himself, maybe he would have been like, oh, I need a deal.
Right.
But he was like, look, this is how y'all could add value. This is how y'all could have ownership. This is how we could get in business. Yeah, I do music and I'm an artist, but we gonna start a label. And this is how Master P did it. This is how Cash Money did it. This is how Jay and them did it. So it was examples. And he just really wasn't saying like, this is how they did it. He had the details. He had books. He had, look, this is the split. This is the type of deal. This is who they did it with. And so, you know, he's lacing us and making us believe and giving us value. Like, okay, shit, yeah, we don't do music, but we can be in the music business and we can create a company. He formed the companies. He like, look, I incorporated this, and he had business cards, and you know, he had the vision for the markets that he wanted to, you know, go at, and he like, we gonna put posters up, and we gonna sew up our area first, and then after that, we gonna go to here and go to here, and you know, I think anybody that talked to him and saw how sharp he was and educated he was like, all right, along with the talent, but they was like, all right, now he's not just an artist. He's a businessman, and he knows what he wants. And I think that's why everything he said he was going to do, he was able to accomplish it.
Yeah, man. It was times, bro, where he'd tell me about, Big, have you read this book? Have you, you know, other people asking, have you went to this restaurant? Have you tried this? You know, and it was always a book. I remember we did that cruise. Yep. And everybody else was throwing pool parties and this, that, and the other. And he did like just a seminar where he just talked about business.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? And opening up. And it was times, bro, away from the radio stations and away from, you know, the limelight, just the conversations that I would have. And you got to think, bro, like, I'm damn near 20 years senior, but I'm listening to bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening because you know when a wise man speaks.
Yep.